on the track, Team Australia. Time to beat so far, Poland has the best. The fastest time on the track is 53.720. Team Australia is very solid. Team. Going ahead, man's coming from behind and trying to get the best position on the slipstream, but they have like quite a gap at this point. Let's see how they can bridge the speed. Oh! Crash on the track. For Team Australia. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, here we are. Season 1, episode 10, season finale. What you've just seen is a premature end to our World Championships campaign over here in Rio. We're both absolutely devastated right now and absolutely heartbroken, and we thought that we'd take this opportunity to jump in front of the camera. Although both of us weren't really feeling up to being in front of the camera, we also feel like it's a responsibility to you as the viewer, and to ourselves as well, to be accountable to this. We set out right from the start, at the start of the year, saying that we were going to document this whole journey, the highs and the lows, and I don't think we would have anticipated these levels of lows, but we're here. So yeah, as you just saw, we were coming into lap 2 of the team sprint, and we had a really unfortunate incident that led to us both coming off and crashing, and unfortunately I was unable to continue with the competition due to some serious injuries that I've had. I was in hospital for a couple of days after it as well, and I thought initially that there would be an opportunity to come back and race in our later events, which were our priority events, the time trial and the sprint. But unfortunately, I sustained three broken ribs and punctured lung, something else going on with my shoulder as well. So unfortunately, I had to call it there, and that means as a team that both of us weren't able to continue. And yeah, absolutely heartbroken, and we will build from this. Mm-hmm. I know we will, but unfortunately, this is it from here. Luke, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I think you kind of, health comes first. Like our health comes first as well. Like, we can be stubborn in these moments, and I'm sure if we really wanted to, you probably could have tried to like push through and try to get on the bike. But the reality of it is it wasn't gonna eventuate, and I think the right call was made at the end of the day. It's not the way that we had planned this going at all. Like, before we started racing, we had already sat down and kind of were talking about how we were going to structure these videos, or this video itself, with racing each day, the 10 and team sprint, the kilo, our main event, and then the sprint, and then a briefing of the race and how we're feeling, and then a debriefing, and then just since day one, we've kind of just both been processing this and how to move forward, and we will be stronger for this. As you said, we are a very strong team, and we have built that over these last several months and years as well. Like, we've been doing this for quite a while together, so this will make us stronger, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less. And Kane was in hospital for a few days. Obviously, that's not easy when you're kind of by yourself, and I'm here as well. Like, fortunate enough, I'm still around the team and still have people here to kind of have that support. But when you're on your own for a bit of time, I can understand it's challenging. So it's been good that we're back together in this environment. We can support each other through this, because this is what we do as a team. Is we support one another through the highs and the lows, and that's something we've really built. And even on this journey to get to Worlds as well, there was moments where I'd struggled with things, and there were some challenges in that when Kane was there to pick me up, and vice versa. And this is that exact moment that we're both here to pick each other up, and I think that's the most important thing as well. I guess I came off a little bit better than what Kane did in terms of injury-wise. So, yes, that's lucky, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less, because I feel gutted for Kane. I know it's hurt, and I've been in that situation plenty of times before, and it is a challenge. It is difficult. But yeah, it's not really the way we had anticipated, but that is sport. That's the way it goes sometimes, is just, and I guess that's what does make sport beautiful as well, is that it is unpredictable. We can't, if it was predictable, no one would watch it. And we will come back from this. We will rebuild and keep pushing for what we know we're capable of, and we know what we believe we can do, because that doesn't deter us from the journey that we're on and where we believe we're heading in the next several months and the future as well. Like that hasn't changed that at all. Just the initial impact of the initial events around, well, not even the events, but just the emotions that we're kind of going through right now is going to go through waves, highs and lows. And I think for me, I felt like I handled it relatively well, like as it had happened in the first day or so, just because, like I said, I've been here so many times before that I am familiar with these setbacks and these challenges. But I think this morning I struggled a bit more. I think today kind of hit me a little bit more, as today is the last day of the World Championships and racing concludes today. And, you know, going out and still seeing the racing and seeing where we could have been, but then also still supporting the team as well, and kind of trying to, or reveling in everyone else's successes and being a part of the team. Like it has helped. The team has done incredibly well. There's been some good results throughout the week, but there's still just an element of like, it's kind of, after today, it's done. And then we go back home and address the future. And
kind of go back to the drawing board and back to where it all started back in January, right? And that's what I'm kind of looking at, is going, we're kind of just walking backwards now, back to that base building phase that we ground through at the start of the year, and we're kind of just pulling it back to there again. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, like as much as we've kind of discussed this, as well, we've kind of been processing and having dialogue between us, is how we're feeling. But like Kane said at the beginning, we want to again show the highs and lows, like show the journey, bring you guys along for the whole entire process, and no sugarcoating in terms of how we are feeling. Like, it is devastating and it does hurt, but there's also a part of me that kind of wants to do this, even though I don't want to then go, all right, that's Brazil done, that chapter's closed, season 1 is finished of the journey. When we kind of have a break and we get back into training, start of season 2, leading into the next, ideally the prep for the games, is like fresh start. Kind of like put this to bed, start anew, but still kind of remember how we felt in this moment, because when those highs do come, they will be so much more sweeter because of what we've gone through right now. That's just kind of how I feel with it as well. And I mean, like I kind of mentioned as well, like I have been through moments like this. You know, I've had my fair. Actually, I had this kind of discussion with my mum the other day as well. She kind of said that, like, obviously my immediate family know, I'm going to talk from like a personal perspective as well. Like, obviously it relates to both, but it's, I guess, just my personal journey, just to kind of give some context around stuff, is like, yeah, there's been a lot of setbacks, and like my parents and my close family and close friends like know my journey. They know what's gone into it. So when I had to break the news to them as to how our race went, like, I know that they're gutted for me, and I feel that. But I guess what we're trying to do is showcase the reality of it and bring you into the picture as to how it feels. But I kind of get a bit lost in a tangent. But like, I know for me in my journey, like I have had my fair share of setbacks. Like, you know, I could list off everything, but we would be here for a while. But, you know, just to name some, like, I was, you know, diagnosed ankylosing spondylitis at 18 years of age, was off the bike for 9 months, then got back in, lost my scholarship because of not racing, fought my way back, got back into the program, then had a crash and broke my collarbone, broke my scapula, was on the sidelines again, came back, and then was on an upwards trajectory, things were going right, and then had an unfortunate incident at work, had a workplace injury, had like a 12 centimeter tear in my quad, and that set me on the sidelines for a long time. And then there's been other injuries and other crashes, other setbacks, like missed selections, all those kinds of things, and I've pushed through them to get to where we were at the start of this competition, because to me, where we were at for the first, like I know I've already said this, but like the first time in my career, I kind of felt that I was on the other side of the shit and was going to have the success, like have that satisfaction of achieving a result that was set out to do from the very beginning. And it's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that it went the way a lot of my career has gone, with a disappointing end. And like I know that I can handle it because I've done it plenty of times before, but like it was just for the first time I kind of wanted something to go right and have those feelings, and I guess I'll just have to wait a little bit longer for that. And yeah, it's hard, but
Makes it even harder when your hope is so high, when
Yeah.
you're feeling like this is the time, this is my time, and then it all gets pulled away from you with something so innocuous and unfortunate as well.
yeah. And like again, credit, like I guess with the team sprint as well, like credit to the Italians, they won. Like I'm happy for them, but the times that we have done in previous competitions, like we would have won, and we could be sitting having a completely different conversation about having won worlds and have, you know, several world championships or several world championship medals, but that's not to be just yet. It will come. And a quote that really sticks with me is, which I guess is probably largely like who I am and why I am, is because in Stephen Bradbury's autobiography, it says the more you put into something, the harder it is to give up. I kind of feel like I've put so much into my sporting career, and I guess into us and this journey as well, that like I won't give up on this. But that also doesn't mean it doesn't make it any easier at all. Like it still stings and it's still hard to process. And
It would hurt more to give up now, wouldn't it?
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely would. But it's like there's also the part that's kind of like got to be a bit realistic sometimes. Not that that's happening now, but like I'm 31,
much?
but it's like
Yeah.
how much? Because there's always the next competition, there's always the next thing, and it's kind of like, for me, the clock is ticking. Like I'm not old, but I am getting older, and there's things that I'd like to do that I will do, but I know I can still do that while still pursuing this and chasing what I know we are capable of doing. But it's challenging. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's really tough, because it's like the more you do, the more you want to keep pushing, but then at some point, at what point is too much? And I guess that's the challenge, right?
Yeah, it is the challenge.
When do you truly know that you've done absolutely everything you can?
I don't think you do. I think
Yeah.
you just get to a point, you just make that decision. And like I know that I'm not there yet. Like,
Yeah.
because like we're getting better, we're getting fast. Like there's all those things that are positive that will eventually outweigh these feelings. But like right now, it is hard. That we will get through it. Like I know that we will. But yeah, it doesn't make that any easier.
Yeah, because you look at us come back in episode 1, season 2, whenever we return in front of the camera, and I shit you not that we're going to come back in with a completely
No.
different mentality, and we're going to look back on this episode and go, look at these two sad sacks
Yeah.
sitting here. I think that having that belief that we will turn it around, I mean, you said it right at the start, we will grow from this. I think that is an asset in itself. It's in such a dark space. You go, it hurts so much right now. I'm feeling these emotions, but we will grow and we will get better from it. And I think just having that belief, that's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, it will. It definitely will. And I think having one another to support each other through that too, it does help that as well. Plus the close friends, family, and a support network that does help us on a daily basis. Like having everybody around will help will help that comeback. But also I think most of that's going to be driven intrinsically, which I know that we both have such a high level of like drive towards training and workload and work ethic that like it will come back so quick. But having that break and that mental deload by doing this and putting this to bed, like will help with that, and help with that I guess the grieving process. Really, it's kind of like that. Like you're going to go through the stages of grieving, of like acceptance and disbelief and sadness and joy, and well, not necessarily joy, but yeah, it's what it kind of feels like. It's just a wave, but we know that wave will gradually get less, and the focus will then shift, and we go back to business as usual, and keep pushing ahead. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how you feeling, because it's like like you've faced some challenges and setbacks, but this is probably like the biggest you've dealt with. Right now.
They seem to get bigger and bigger the further I go on.
And it's your tolerance as well. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing too, is like what I've gone through has made me who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality of it. You either choose to let the past dictate your future and concede and act like a victim, or you accept it and grow from it and become better from it. And that's how I've always moved forward with life. Is I don't ever let the past dictate how I want to move forward and where I want to be and who I want to be as a person. Like I will grow from this and I will move forward. And I know that like you face some challenges too, but I know that you will do the same.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think our coach Perko, he said it's just another mountain to climb, and I've climbed I've climbed a lot of mountains over the last couple of years, but
Yeah.
I'm looking up at this one going, shit, that's Everest. But I also believe that I can get over it as well, and it is a bit daunting right now looking ahead at what I have to do. There's probably a fair rehab journey over the next couple of months to get things moving again. I have to excuse me.
but you're not
Still dealing with this lung at the moment, but trying to get through it. Where was I?
But you're not going to do it alone. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be back, and I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I was on a good one then until
You're talking about the mountain, climbing up the mountain, Everest with Perko.
yeah, exactly. So like it will be challenging, but I have a lot of belief that I can get back there as well because I've done it many times before. But yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to add from here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've discussed the sensations around this week, and I guess that's our initial focus when we're kind of in this space. We're kind of just looking at the current. But I guess if we take a step back and take a step outside of how we're feeling now, the lead into this whole entire competition, there were so many positives and there was so many good things and so much confirmation with where we're at, what we know we're capable of, and even being here and seeing the racing and seeing the other bikes, like the fan of the sport has still enjoyed my time here. Like I have loved watching the tandems and watching all the other racing, and for me, like it's been like the first time I went to Worlds was 2019, and it's taken me 5 years to get back to here to be in this same environment. And I think as soon as I got here to the hotel, to the velodrome, and all the other countries started rocking up to the hotel, like I just had that confirmation and that sense of like, this is where I want to be and this is where I need to be, and I'm happy being here. Like that's still there. Yeah, like I've enjoyed it, but I also know that we can mix it with the best. Like I know that we are world class. It's like that will take over from the initial sadness that we kind of do feel at the current moment.
I mean, I just felt so much gratitude being here at the start. Like every moment, I was so grateful to be wearing the green and gold and mixing it with the other countries, and I was so excited to put on a show and show them what we'd been doing, because we were pretty much going to come in and sweep them off their feet was the plan.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's just going to have to wait a little bit longer, and we're not too sure of what is in front of us in terms of the hurdles that we have to face in terms of future selections and things like that. But whenever that next opportunity arises, we're going to definitely do that. We're going to blow them all away.
Yeah, we'll face that head on, and I think from here we go home, we rest up, we recover, we refresh mentally, we come back to training with full vigor like we always do, and attack that next goal, which we'll get to that point when we start season 2. But yeah, I guess like, is there much more you want to kind of talk about to like close this chapter, this finale of season 1, or like the things you want to kind of touch on with us or with the journey, with the process, and like, yeah, I don't know, is there much more?
I don't think I have much more to add from my point of view, but I just wanted to add how much respect I have for you in the way that you've handled this week. I've been like truly impressed with the way you've handled the setback and the way that you've been able to support me as well amongst that. I know like individually you've been hurting in your own mind, but I think like as a team you've been incredible in supporting me as well, because I think you've had a lot of knowledge and insight to share with me around dealing with these challenges, because as you said, you've been here many times before, and I've taken a lot of inspiration from what you've given me in this week. And I just wanted to say thanks for sharing that with me during such a challenging time, because it would be easy for you to kind of fall back into your own shell to be able to protect yourself, which is sometimes what we need as well. But you've stayed open, and I think that's helped me immensely as well.
No problem. No
Yeah.
problem, mate. I appreciate that. Like I said, like, yeah, I believe in you. I believe in us. Like, I'm always here to help. Like, yeah, it's a journey worth traveling together, and doing it with you is special. And yeah, I know it hurts, and I guess like it's just, I guess maybe who I am is I do have a level of compassion towards others, and if I can help in any way, I kind of do what I can for people I do care about, and anything I can kind of help you with is no stress off my shoulder, even if it means putting your socks on as well.
Yeah. I mean, we'd come off the bike, and I think we were still sliding down the track, and you already were reaching around, grabbing me and telling me to relax and breathe, and that meant a lot in that moment, that you weren't even thinking about yourself. You were like taking your hand off the bike to protect me, and telling me to breathe and relax, because shit, you've obviously come off the bike a few times before, and you knew that was my first time tasting the boards as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a lot of respect in that immediately.
Yeah. I wouldn't do the crashing again, but the support I would do any day of the week. Like, definitely would do it any day of the week for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it. I'm happy to wrap up season 1 from here, and come back into season 2 with a newfound energy and a newfound drive towards whatever is the next goal. And I hope that all of you watching will be with us along on that journey. And I know that the next season finale will be a very, very
Special one.
different outcome, and a very special season finale of season 2. So we'll hope to see you all there. And if there's nothing else that you want to add, Luke, then I think maybe we wrap it up.
No, that's it. I think, I don't know when we'll be back. Give us a couple of weeks. We'll plan what the future looks like with videos and content, but we will be back. We will be training. We're not done. We will win.
Not finished yet.
No. Unbroken.
Yep. All right.
All right.
See you soon.
See ya.
All right.